This is the MGTOW Infinium here with another Infinium Free Talk. This Infinium Free Talk is entitled The Many Forges of MGTOW. My brothers, as we travel along the MGTOW pathway, we men will certainly encounter the forging effect of our embracement of the philosophy which we have found to be a true lifesaver in every possible way. As such, our travels along the pathway to freedom become in a way an entry point into a giant overall forge which molds our overall freedom, thereby transforming we men into what we really are and what we should have been all along. But it is within the main forge of freedom where we MGTOW men encounter the sub-forges which also contribute to the overall forging process of who we are as free men. Here are just 4 of those sub-forges. Number 1, the sub-forge of true purpose. The discovery of a man's freedom can often lead to the discovery of true purpose. Here, it is not just the realization that men are not slaves, but it is also the discovery of true purpose and as well the profound nature of that true purpose. It is the transformative nature of that true purpose wherein the understanding comes to no longer build upon the unstable foundation of a woman's whims, but rather build upon the solid foundation of who we truly are as free men. Number 2, the sub-forge of integrity. A man's understanding of true freedom will, as time passes, open the door to the sub-forge of integrity. Particularly with MGTOW men, our minds, hearts, and even our very souls undergo molding of integrity to the extent that it becomes incomprehensible to the minds of feminists, simps, etc. Whereas any feminist would allow, MGTOW men, because of their integrity, do not allow because of the great damage which would be done to their overall freedom. Number 3, the sub-forge of wisdom. The overall forge of freedom will in time automatically ignite the sub-forge of wisdom in a MGTOW man's life. This is due to the ongoing, on a daily basis, increasing understanding of the powerful nature of his freedom and the responsibility to maintain said freedom. We have all heard the sometimes trite quote, "With great power comes great responsibility," from movies, etc. However, when it comes to a MGTOW man's freedom, this quote becomes relevant because of the incomprehensible power that a free man possesses, thus resulting in a MGTOW man walking circumspectly along the MGTOW pathway, thereby generating wisdom as time progresses. Number 4, the sub-forge of well-being. A MGTOW man's realization of the value of his life will cause the ignition of the sub-forge of well-being. The aforementioned is accomplished because upon realization of said value, there comes the realization of the importance of maintaining that value. This then leads to the discarding of a woman's priorities in favor of his priorities and the consequential putting his needs first in every way possible. Under such conditions, a MGTOW man quickly discovers that his overall well-being is an important factor which can now be addressed properly because of his overall freedom. And as such, it is the many components of his well-being like health, financial, living conditions, etc., which can be bettered in every way possible because of proper addressing of said components and the freedom to do so. My brothers, it is important to understand that the main and sub-forges of the MGTOW philosophy are in actuality the overall true molding process which shapes all of us into the men we are supposed to be presently as well as going forward into our futures. And they serve to correct the misdirection of what we were intended to be in the first place before our embracement of the MGTOW philosophy. As such, these forges cause the melting away of any detrimental molding which formerly limited or fully robbed our freedom as men. Thus, behavior like simping becomes nonsensical and fully irrelevant in the face of the true reality of who we are as free men, thereby allowing criticisms of selfishness, misogynistic behavior, failure to do our duty, psychotic behavior, etc., coming from the mouths of women and the feminist plantation state to be fully ignored in indifference as we MGTOW men travel in freedom towards our freedom in every possible way. This is the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium Free Talk. My MGTOW brothers, as always, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.